What's going on, everybody? It's Dr. Delatorro in the building. I hope and pray you guys are doing wonderfully well on today. Listen, I'm pumped. I am stoked. I'm excited and honored to share with you. I'm coming to you live from my studio, and I want to share with you a powerful conversation over the next few minutes about a subject that I'm really, really passionate about, which I want to call the 5 C's of monetizing your message. If you're going to monetize your message, if you're going to really establish revenue around your speaking, I believe there's 5 C's that's going to help you do it. And this teaching is in preparation for my live event that's coming up. It's called Monetize Your Message Live. We're so incredibly excited about it. It's going to be an incredible time where I'm going to be showing you over 3 hours on February the 3rd from 6 to 9 p.m. here in beautiful Tampa, Florida. I'm going to be showing you and unpacking with you how to produce more income, impact, and influence through the power of public speaking and presentation. So in this quick video, I just want to share with you what I like to call the 5 C's of accelerated monetization. Okay, so if you really want to take it to that next level as a speaker, I really want you to tap in, because this is going to be a powerful conversation. And I want you to register right now for our upcoming Monetize Your Message Live. It's an in-person seminar with me, Dr. Delatorro. We're going to be hanging out for 3 hours together. So fly in, drive in, whatever you got to do, get here so we can spend some quality time together. If 2025 is the year that you've said, I want to do a lot more keynote speaking, I want to do a lot more presenting, I want to share my message and my story with audiences in a more profoundly powerful way, then my friend, this is the moment, this is the time, this is the content that's going to get you there. So I want to share with you. So go ahead and do me a favor, jot down on a sheet of paper 1 through 5. I want to share with you 5 C's, the 5 C's for accelerated monetization. First thing that you got to do, if you want to be a great speaker on stage, you got to have incredible confidence. I cannot underscore enough how important confidence is in presentation delivery. Audiences can sniff out. You know how they say dogs can smell fear, right? Sharks can smell fear, right? They say animals can smell fear. Well, guess what? Audiences can smell when you do not have confidence and you don't believe enough in yourself. An audience can sniff it out. So it's vitally important that you really believe in you, believe in your message, believe in the problem that you're solving, believe in the resources that you're offering your audience, believe in the research that you've done before you even get on stage. Your confidence is really important. That's why I want you to come spend some time with me, because y'all, here's the truth. Most of us, especially those of us who are kind of either starting out or we're transitioning between levels in our speaking, tend to lack the confidence. So in other words, you might have all the confidence in the world when you're a $5,000 an hour speaker. But when you start charging $10,000 an hour, all of a sudden your confidence shifts. Why? Because you're not used to generating $10,000 an hour as a speaker. Does that make sense? Or if you're brand new to speaking and you're trying to charge $1,000 for the first time, or you're trying to charge $5,000 for the first time, every time you adjust your speaking fee, you're going to go through a confidence, a redefining of your own confidence, if that makes sense. You know what I'm saying? So when that happens, my friend, I really want you to be intentional about putting yourself in environments and spaces where your confidence can explode, where people can really see you shine brightly, shine bright like a diamond. Does that make sense? So I want you to come hang out with me so I can show you and teach you how to cultivate more confidence on stage, more confidence in your story, more confidence in yourself, more confidence in your vocal tonality, more confidence in the impact that you can make on that audience. Does that make sense? So your confidence is really important, because here's the truth. As a speaker, and I've coined this phrase, you actually have to develop what I call jumper cable confidence for your audience. I'm gonna say that again slower. That was a good one, Will. You gotta develop jumper cable confidence for your audience. What is jumper cable? What is jumper cable confidence? I'm so glad you asked what jumper cable confidence. So jumper cable confidence, say that 5 times fast, right? Jumper cable confidence is your ability to be confident enough in what you're teaching that your audience can believe in your belief in them until their belief kicks in. I'm gonna say that again slower. Jumper cable confidence is our ability to believe so much in what we're teaching that we inspire our audience to believe in themselves, because most audiences don't believe enough in themselves. So they actually are believing, they're borrowing our belief in them until their belief kicks in. Let me give you a perfect example of what I mean by that. I remember the first time that I ever had a chance to listen to one of my mentors, Dr. Willie Jolly, speak. And I remember when I was listening to him speak, I was so intimidated because he was so much better than me. He was just a master, but he'd been doing it full time for decades before he ever met me. So he was supposed to be 10 times better than I was. So I was kind of intimidated, and my confidence took a hit. And I remember being around him. He's like, man, are you kidding me? He said, you're a great speaker. You got great gifts and talents. You have this, that, and the other. And he began to start speaking in my life. And I began to start to believe what he said. So I borrowed his belief in me until Dr. Delatoro's belief fully kicked in. Does that make sense? So I want to encourage you. And that's why you got to get to the Monetize Live. It's going to be such a great event, right? And of course, we got Crush the Stage coming up in March. We'll talk about Crush the Stage later, but I'm really, really excited about that as well. Crush the Stage is coming up March 12th through the 15th. You definitely got to be in the building for that. CrushTheStage.com, learn all about that. That's our 4-day deep dive into expert level public speaking and presentation, which is a total game changer for your speaking career. That's what Crush the Stage is all about. You want to learn more about it, go to CrushTheStage.com, learn all about it, March 12th through the 15th. However, this particular video is about encouraging you around the 5 C's to get you to our February 3rd event, which is called Monetize Your Message Live. And the first principle we're talking about is the importance of cultivating more confidence on stage. If you want to be amazing on stage, my friend, this is the event you want to come to so I can show you how to build more confidence into your stage presence so that your audience can trust you more, rely on you more, lean on you more, and be excited more about the impact you're going to make. The second C I want to talk about in this video is the importance of having fantastic, applicable, actionable content. Write that down. So the second C is content. You got to have strong content, my friend. And here's the thing. It can't be content that you're just pulling out of your butt, right? You got to really be intentional about instructionally designing, systematically designing your content in such a way that it lands with your audience and they can retain it. See, most speakers speak for reaction and not retention. I'm going to say that again slower. Most speakers speak for reaction and not retention. And my friend, I want you to speak for retention. I want your audience to remember you, because if you can't be remembered, you can't be rebooked. I'm going to say that again slower up in this hush puppy. If you can't be remembered, you can't be rebooked. So it's vitally important, my friend, that you are super intentional about making sure that you have great content, actionable content that your audience can really get a lot out of, that they can receive from, that's going to take them and you to the next level. All right. So we're going to help you cultivate content, your content, not content you stole from somebody else, not content you took from another speaker, not content you took from social media, but your own stuff. We're going to teach you about how to cultivate powerful content so that when you get up on that stage, people perceive you as what's called a SME, a subject matter expert. Does that make sense? So your content matters. You can't just get up on stage and wing it anymore. We got to be really hyper intentional about creating the transformation that we seek and desire on this planet. Are y'all feeling what I'm saying up in this hush puppy? If so, drop some comments, drop some hearts, drop some likes. Let me know that this is resonating with you. Principle number 3. Okay, this is why I want you at my Monetize Live event February 3rd. It's going to be absolutely incredible. Make sure you register right now. You can go to monetize2025.eventbrite.com to register right now for this incredible, incredible event. It's going to be absolutely gangbusters, and I can't wait to see your face. What in the place? Concept number 3, clarity. Most speakers don't have clarity about their message, their brand, their impact, how they want to actually impact this industry. Most people just come out and say, okay, I just want to be inspirational. I just want to help people. That's general. That's vague. You've got to have clarity. With clarity comes power. Does that make sense? Isn't it amazing how if you just go to Google right now and you type in food, you're going to get 25 zillion hits, right? They come up, right? But if you go into Google and you type in Ruth Chris filet mignon 400-degree plate, boom, all of a sudden you're going to get 1 or 2 clicks back. And those responses are going to take you directly to a Ruth Chris steakhouse in your city where they serve filet mignon steak on a 500-degree plate. Come on, somebody, sizzling up in this hush puppy, right? What's the difference? My first search was for food, which was general. So a zillion things came up. And as long as you're generic about your search, you're going to get generic results. But because I was specific about my search, I got back a very specific result, and it was the exact specific result that I needed. Does that make sense? So clarity is power. If you really want to go to the next level in your life, your business, your brand, have more clarity about what you want. And sometimes that clarity, family, is something as simple as just sitting down and on a sheet of paper, just writing down, what are 10 things I want? It's so important that you take the time to get clear about really what you desire. right? So clarity is power. So I'm going to help you get clear about really what lane you want to be in as a speaker, right? How do you want to do this industry? Do you want to do keynote speaking? Do you want to do more coaching? Do you want to do more facilitating? Do you want to do more podcasting? There's so many different ways you can monetize. So it's time for us to get clear about the best ways we can monetize, the ones that are going to lend itself best to your pedigree, your story, your background, and where you are right now. So that way we can get some traction going underneath your career and get you going in the right direction. All right. We're going to help you do that when you show up at our Monetize Your Message live event. It's going to be dope. Fourth principle, the fourth C that I want to talk to you about is command. Command. All right. Well, Dr. Delatorro, what do you mean by command? Command is your ability to be on stage and literally be a little bit authoritative. In my humble opinion, if you want to be an incredible speaker, there has to be a level of command about how you deliver. And what I mean by command is there's got to be a level of swag. Okay. Does that make sense? Where when you show up on stage, people know she knows her stuff. He knows his stuff. Now, command can come in multiple forms. Command can come in your attire. Sometimes it's your attire. Sometimes people have certain commands on stage just because of their stature. If there's like Tony Robbins is super tall, he's a big guy. So just as soon as he comes out, there's a level of respect. Does that make sense, right? But if someone comes out in uniform, there's an automatic command associated with someone with a white jacket on, right? You're like, okay, this is a medical professional, right? Someone with a military uniform on, they automatically have command. Does that make sense? Right? Or the CEO of the organization who walks in with the corporate crest, right? On his or her lapel as they walk out on stage, right? There's a certain command, there's a certain respect, authority that comes along with that. Does that make sense? So I want you to have, and some people's command comes in the tone of their voice. As soon as you hear Morgan Freeman, as soon as you hear, may he rest in peace, power, and prosperity, James Earl Jones, right? As soon as you hear their voice, or Dr. Maya Angelou, may she rest in peace, power, and prosperity. As soon as you heard Dr. Maya Angelou's voice, the command, the respect, the authority was there. Does that make sense? And that's what I want for you. I want you to have that command. It should show up in terms of how you know your content, how you know when to drop the punchline for the joke, right? How to know when to do what, how to navigate in a presentation. These are all things we're going to show you when you register right now for Monetize Your Message Live, baby. I can't wait to spend 3 hours with you. We're going to do a deep dive. It's going to be gangster. And then the last thing, the fifth C. We've talked about confidence, we've talked about content, we've talked about clarity, we've talked about command, which is that authority, that ability to be on stage and have the whole audience really listen to you, lean on your wisdom, lean on what you're saying, and trust what you're saying. You feel what I'm saying? And then the fifth one is courage. See, I believe it's really important for us as speakers to be courageous on stage. Well, what is the definition of courage? I'm so glad you asked. The definition of courage is not the absence of fear. The definition of courage is the presence of fear and doing it anyway. Does that make sense? I think so many times, we don't understand. See, just because someone's in the military does not mean that they're not afraid of being shot, afraid of being blown up, afraid of being poisoned, afraid of all the other kind of peril that could happen in war. They're courageous, not because they don't have fear, but in the presence of fear, they execute anyhow. And as a dependent of a disabled veteran, I know a little bit about that. I've watched my father operate from a wheelchair his entire life because he sacrificed his life so that we could have freedom. Does that make sense? And his quality of life so that we could have freedom. So to everyone out there who's in our armed forces or has served in our armed forces, I salute you. Thank you so much for your service, your dedication, and your sacrifice to you and your family. All right, let's close out this courage conversation. If you want to be incredible on stage, you got to have courage to be vulnerable with your audience, which means opening up and talking to them about things that you might not want to share publicly, right? You have to have the courage to tell your story. You have to have the courage to go years and years back and even into your childhood and share some things that might be uncomfortable. You have to have the courage to go against the grain. See, if you're going to be an incredible speaker, you have to have the courage to disagree. Who am I talking to up in this hush puppy up in here? You got to have the courage sometimes to disagree, to be a thought leader, You have to be willing to disagree with popular psychological or philosophical phenomenon. For example, there's a saying that says that we've heard this all of our lives. All of our lives, we were told that failure is not an option, right? And while we've all heard the quote, failure is not an option, the truth is that's not even really the full quote. The full quote from Einstein is failure is not an option. It's actually a privilege reserved exclusively for those who try. I'm going to say it again. The full quote is failure is not an option. It's actually a privilege reserved, set aside exclusively for those who put in effort. So you got to have the courage to go against the grain and disagree with something. For example, Dr. Stephen Covey has a great quote that says this: we have to begin with the end in mind. Guess what? Apple doesn't believe in that philosophy. Apple doesn't believe that the customer dies. See, if we begin with the end in mind, right? Apple doesn't believe that there's ever an end to the customer journey. Apple believes that when you buy the watch, then you got to buy the laptop, then you got to buy the MacBook Air, then you got to buy the AirPod, then you got to buy the iPhone, then you got to buy, and by the time you've bought all those things, the customer journey doesn't end. Guess what? By the time you've bought all those things, it's time to buy the what? The newest version of the watch, the phone, right? The MacBook, right? The laptop, the iPad, et cetera, et cetera. And by the time you buy the next round of everything, it's time for another round. So Apple doesn't believe in begin with the end in mind. Apple believes that there's never any end. So it takes courage to disagree with a popular concept like begin with the end in mind, because most people have adopted that as truth because they've heard it so much. So as a thought leader, you have to be willing to kind of dissect a quote or a concept and say, you know what, I might not fully disagree with it, but I'd love to add my spin, my take, my perspective, my expert angle on that very thing. This is why I want you to come to the Monetize Your Message live event. It's going to be powerful. It's going to be impactful, transformational. Go to monetize2025.eventbrite.com right now. Get registered. Y'all, this 3-hour seminar is peanuts. We're charging literally peanuts for this incredible 3-hour experience because I really want to make more of a local impact. So I'm doing a local seminar in my own backyard to help people right here in the Tampa, St. Pete, Clearwater area, the Central Florida area. I want to help you up-level your speaking. So get here. I don't care if you're in Orlando, drive here. I don't care if you're in Sarasota, drive up. I don't care if you're down in Miami, drive up. I don't care if you're in Pensacola, drive down, come down from the snow in Destin. Come on, somebody, right? I don't care where y'all come from. If you're in Atlanta, fly on down, right? I don't care if you're in Texas, fly on over, right? It doesn't matter where you are. Come spend 3 hours with someone who's given over 4,000 paid talks all over the world. And I guarantee you, I'll share something with you in that 3 hours that will completely up-level your public speaking, your presentation skills, and your ability to generate revenue with the power of the words that come out of your mouth. I want to go deeper. In this video, I just wanted to share with you 5 things. And there's actually a bonus we're not going to get to in this video, but you got to come to the seminar to get the bonus. But we've covered 5 things really quickly. First thing we covered is confidence. And if you notice at the beginning of this presentation, what did I tell you? I said there was 5 things that I was going to cover. And I told you that they all started with the letter C. First thing we talked about was confidence. Second thing we talked about was what, y'all? We talked about content, how important your content is. Third thing we talked about was what? Clarity. How important it is for you to be clear about what it is that you're talking about. Fourth thing we talked about was command, having that command on stage. The last thing we talked about was having the courage to tell your story, the courage to be vulnerable, the courage to disagree, the courage to pull your audience out of wherever they are and put them into a better place. So my friend, there's so much more I could share with you, but I just wanted to kind of whet your appetite a little bit, help you understand that we really know what the heck we talk about. And we're going to take you to the next level. And y'all, we're so excited. We're here in Platinum Studios. I'm so excited. And pretty soon we're going to be opening up our studio to the general public. So you'll be able to come in and create incredible content, shoot online courses here. You'll be able to shoot podcast episodes here. You'll be able to shoot YouTube content here. You'll be able to shoot social media content here. You'll be able to do so many great things. So I'm really excited. Me and my main man, Will, we going to be coming at y'all. Y'all ain't ready for it? It's going to be dope. Anyway, in the meantime, in between time, this is Dr. Delatorro, and I just wanted to jump on here and let you know that I'm excited about working with you, partnering with you, and sharing with you profound concepts and principles. Register right now for Monetize Your Message Live. It's going to be an incredible, incredible seminar that you don't want to miss. And if you've already registered, then do me a favor, tell Lottie, tell Dottie, and then tell everybody so that they can get there too, because success is better together. Achievement is better as a group. Does that make sense? We have to learn how to shift our posses, because who we ride with really and truly does matter. This is Dr. Delatorro. God bless you. I love you. I appreciate you. Looking forward to seeing you monetize your message, because there's money in your mouth. Talk to you soon.